Hi, and welcome back. We are doing our block of the month for April, and today we're doing the second half, and this is on paper piecing, and that's really what I'm going to focus on. I think you all are pretty good at regular piecing, at fusible, so we want to get going on these. I reviewed how to do your fusible in the end of the last video. Okay, so paper piecing best practice says leave it in there till you're piecing it in your quilt. Okay, so in your kit, I have sent you your patterns. I recommend you do something on the pattern that I teach it in all my classes, and the students in the beginning don't know why they're doing it, but in the end they love it. So you're going to take this, your paper piecing pattern. You've got 2 of this page and 1 of this page because you need 4 of each block. Now the pattern is in your book, but I thought this made a lot of sense just to combine them all in one. So you're going to take and flip that pattern over, and if you have trouble seeing through it, if you put it on a white piece of paper, Angie, can we get in here a little bit? And all I want you to do is just, and you don't even, well, you can do a little bit of a line on the outside. Don't use a ruler for this. This is just your placement line. You just kind of want to get an idea of where that block, you know how we're marking our other blocks with the size of them, so you just want to get an idea of where it's going. Same thing on this. So we're going to place our fabric on this side, and I am going to cut all of these pieces out. So on this side we're going to write the word fabric. We're going to number them, whatever number they are, and so on. Okay, and then you're going to cut them all out, and on this side, to prepare it so you don't have to use this very often, write the word stitch. So this is the side we're going to stitch on, and this is the side we're putting our fabric on. Okay, if you haven't already done that, pause it and go ahead and get those ready, or you're probably like me, I like to watch the whole video and then go back step by step. Okay, so we have got our papers ready. Plenty of patterns, and like I said, it's in the book if you should, I don't know. I wouldn't cut these in double layers because they might or they might not match exactly from layer to layer. Okay, now we want to cut the fabric that's in your kit. Let's start with the yellow. Okay, so you have 2 pieces of yellow. With the first piece, and this piece is, we're going to go through this very quickly, 10 by 21. Well, when I actually measured it, oh no, it's 10 by 22. Oh no, Judy gave me more than I needed. I never know, but I know there'll always be at least 21. So you've got this, give it a good steam iron. Then you're going to take, and according to your directions, I folded it in half, so I'm going to cut it 2 blocks at a time, 2 layers at a time. So do you see this is folded? Here, 2 layers. And I have you cutting, we need to end up with 16 5-inch by 2.5 inch. 16 5-inch by 2.5 inch. So this is 2.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 2.5 inch cross cut, and we're going to stack all those up for 16 2.5 inch by 5 inch. Make sense? Great. Clear as mud. Okay, now the next piece. This, we couldn't figure out any other way to do it. Make sure you had enough. So this piece is 12 by 21. Okay, and this is yellow, just plain yellow in some of the kits. Let me move this out of the way. Put this right here. Please bear with me in this video because we may have to get a little bit of time to position things, but I want to be sure I go over everything. Okay, this is going to be where your starfish goes. Makes sense? And then these 5-inch squares. Easy enough. And this is excess. Somebody asked me what that meant, and I said, it means if you need it for something else, you got it, but it's more than you need. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces cut. Get those ready. Okay. Now let's start paper piecing. Now let's slow it down a bit here. Paper piecing. Why do you paper piece? Anything geometric, I like to paper piece. It keeps it just perfect, those points, and it also keeps your block accurate. I think I've told you the story. I was doing a quilt once, supposed to be 6.5-inch blocks, and I thought, well, I will do a scant 1/4 inch. Well, I did a scant 1/4 inch, which means it wasn't quite a full scattered inch. You know what I'm trying to say. And those blocks ended up 6 3/4. And then I thought, well, I'll make a more generous 1/4 inch. Those ended up 6 1/4. The smaller the block, the less forgiveness you have. So a small block like this is just perfect to do paper pieced. And everybody will think you're amazing. Your block will turn out accurately. Okay, so let's get going. Let's do our blue ones first. Okay, so we're going to start by taking our paper piecing paper, and we've got all 4 of them cut. The first thing you want to do is trim that 4-inch blue down to about 3.5 inches. Okay, and then it's going to fit exactly on the back of this. You don't need it bigger. Okay, so we've got it trimmed down exactly. Then the next step, okay, so the first are the same size. Make sense? We're going to pin it to the back of each one. 2, 3, and then the one we've started on. 4. Okay, let's go into how we're going. How did I trim this? One of the things you need when you're paper piecing is some kind of a straight edge. If you have a postcard, that would be great. If you don't have a postcard, you can get an index card, but something that's a little firmer and that's a perfect straight edge. Okay, so we're going to take paper piecing. All right, we're going to make sure that's pinned right to the back of it. I put that pin right in the center because I don't want to, okay, I'm going to go very slow on this. All right, here's our block. We've put our centerpiece, which is a solid blue. My cat wants to be in the video. Please ignore the little runt. All right, we're going to fold it back on this line. Oh, wait, let me go to number 1 so I don't confuse you. And this is Y for yellow, blue for blue. All right, we're going to lay that right on the line. And we're going to fold it back. And then you take this wonderful tool called an add a quarter tool. If we cut it on that line, well, for one thing, you'd end up cutting the paper, but you wouldn't have your seam allowance. So then I'm going to put that there. Ready? I'm going to take my rotary cutter and cut. All right. Now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to just go clockwise around it. Okay. Fold it back, and I'm going to take the time in this video to do all of the steps, because if you haven't done it before, it'll just make it easier for you. Trim it. Let's show you what the back is looking like. All right. You see how we're getting those pieces trimmed away? Okay, and why do I use this? Well, if I didn't, and I'm trying to fold this, let's see, where, you see how it's just not happening? Get that pin out of your way. You just lay that right on there, fold it back on that line. Next step, put your add a quarter ruler. Next step, trim it away. Whoops. You know what, I think it's a little tight. I think I might even have 2 rotary cutting blades in there. All right. Okay. And then one more. In fact, I know that's what's going on. So I'll just switch to my bigger blade here. And then the last one. Whoops. Don't I have one more to do? Yes. There we go. Okay, calm down. All right. You know, an index card, also a business card. These are so small. If you have your business card or there we go. Okay. You know what? For learning purposes, a teachable moment. Look what I've done. I'm pretty sure I have, look at that. I have 2 blades in there. I don't remember doing that before. Now what do I do with that blade to keep it safeguarded? Okay. I should have Angie pick it up and go put it somewhere. Okay. A good teachable moment. I haven't done that in a long time. All right. Okay. All right, we are going to get this. All right, so paper piecing. The reason we do it, it just makes those blocks perfect. And we want to. All right, another thing about these rotary cutters from Clover, they're left or right-handed. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we've got it. Now what do we do? Oh, I know what we do. Those yellow pieces that we cut. Let's review how we cut those yellow pieces. So when we cut the yellow pieces, you had a direction where you cut a 7-inch, you had an excess, and now you also have, from this piece, we're going to cut 4-inch squares. Remember we trimmed those down? Okay, I'm gonna get that out of the way here. We took those 4-inch squares. We could have used strips. So here's a 5x5. Ready? We're going to take, and I'm gonna do it. Ready? We're gonna lay it on our mat. We're going to take a ruler. This isn't quite long enough, but I think I can make it work. Oh, what a difference in that ruler. And we're going to cut it twice on the diagonal. All right. Okay. So now I have my 4 triangles. What am I going to do with those? Those are the perfect size to put on my quilt. Ready? So I'm going to take one of them. Let me show you where it's going to end up. I'm going to take this. I'm going to lay this, and we know it's a perfect 1/4-inch seam, so we don't have to do anything else. I like to take it, flip it over, and kind of move that pin a little bit so I know it's in place. Keep it away from that stitching line. Okay. Then we're going to go to the machine. Oh, look. I'm going to take it out of the oven. Here, I'll do this. I'm going to draw along this line. That's our stitching line. A lot of time I do these in black. I'll have to remember that trick so you can see it. So we stitched along. Oh, but not on that side. We stitched on this side where it's really easy to see. And again, I don't know if you can see the stitching line. You see it? Thank you, Angie. Okay, so we stitched along there. Perfect. I usually go about 1 stitch past. If you go to the edge, don't worry, it won't matter. Okay, now I'm going to open that up and do that, and we're going to do it again. So on these, you're going to not go counterclockwise, you're going to go shift back and forth. So now we're going to do the next one, and we know because we pre-cut that center. Look, there it is. We can pin it again. Flip it over, stitch it. Are you with me? I'm going to put a pin in to represent the stitching. We went back and forth on if you really needed me to go to the sewing machine and do it. I hope it's okay. We decided not to. All right. Then I'm going to fold that out. Look at that. It's just perfect. Okay. So now, look at the number. This is the next one. We're going to put it. But what I like about trimming that block to the perfect size, I don't have to do any trimming now. All right. Now we're going to put this in. Remember, I told you I was going to do every step. I want you to be sure you're comfortable, confident, ready to go. Get your cup of coffee, iced tea. All right, stitch all the way on that line. And we're gonna fold it up, of course. And I usually take my little steam iron, you know, do that. And then the last one, and you're gonna make 4 blocks like this. We're going to put it right there. I love paper piece, and I love to, whenever I paper piece, I do one and make sure, so like for these 4, I would do one, make sure, oh, I got it, it came out perfect, I didn't trim it wrong, and you've got extra fabric, and then, and I would not put a pin there when I stitch, I would take that out. Okay, now I'm gonna put it up. Oh, look at that. And there you go. Oh, but wait a minute, that doesn't look very good, does it? So what you're going to do, you're going to take and, let's see, do we have one here? Yeah, that'll have to work. It looks like I oh, I didn't press it out, okay? There it is. Okay, so once I have it all done, let me get the excess out of here so you like can really see it. And I'm gonna review those steps again. Step 1, pin it to your block. Stitch on this side, block on the other. Then we're going to trim it all away. I trimmed all these little pieces away by taking my index card, those flathead pins, just got a shipment in, can't say enough about those. Peeling this back, add a 1/4 ruler. Darn, that fades in. Trimming it, okay? Do that all around. Next, one piece at a time, we're going to stitch. You with me? Okay, iron it. You're gonna iron it, take all those pins out. And then you're going, what's really cool is you're going to trim it right on, well, I just take my ruler, and this should finish at a 3.5 inch. So I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a skosh over, that's like a line over the 3.5. Trim that block, it's all ready to piece, and all of the corners are going to come together. Does that make sense? I hope so. Don't hesitate to email me on this. But wait, we've got another one to do, and it's the exact same way, except for strips instead of triangles. Okay, let's tidy up here. Please don't hesitate to send me any little questions, emails, and careful when you're cutting out those pieces. Oh, I meant to tell you, when I was cutting these, I did draw it with a Frixion pen, and then I knew it was accurate. Does that make sense? I don't know. Am I too fussy? I guess, even though I have a lot of fabric, I care about it, and I don't want to waste any of it. All right, so we've done our squares. Now we're going to do our triangles, and basically we're going to do them the same way. So let's get our triangle ready. So we have 4 of those. On this one, you cut a piece 4 by 7, remember? All right, how are we doing on time, Angie? We at about 12?
18.
18, holy cow. I'm gonna wrap this up. You all have been so good. Have a glass of wine, piece of chocolate. Okay, on this one, we're going to have it nice and big. Pin it to it just like we did the other. I do draw my lines on the back. Of course, these, you don't really need the placement lines because, all right, what do I do next? That's right, I'm going to take my card, fold it back along there. What's next? Add a 1/4 ruler. And Angie and I we talked about this for almost an hour. What was the best way for us to make sure that we covered everything, and that I hope you feel nice and confident. Okay, so I'm going to go right around that block just like I did before. And let's take it out of the oven. It's all done here. Okay, so here I go. I have it all cut just like the first one and the other one. Okay, now this time I had you cut strips. I looked at a rectangle, and then sometimes the process can be harder than just doing it the same old way. So what I did on this, I had you cut strips. Remember those 2 inches, 2.5 by 5 inch, correct, Angie?
Yes.
Nancy, who's Nancy? Okay, so on this one, same technique. We're going to lay it on there, right? Okay, and that she told me we're at 20 minutes, so my goodness. We're going to flip it over, right? And because we have that trimmed perfectly, you know, I just lay it right on there, stitch it. I don't even have to do any trimming. And then we did go ahead and stitch that. So let's see, how will we do the next one? Let me go through this one. That's right. I like to do opposite corners. I also should be following the numbers. All right, I'm going to lay it right like this. Okay, put a pin in the middle here. Oh, I feel good about this. I hope you're getting it. All right, flip it over. Where do I stitch? Right there on that line. You can take a peek. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Stitch right on that line. Okay. Then I'm going to do all 4. So here's 1. And I took the yellow off of that so you could see. You know, if I was trying to piece this without paper piecing, I'd have had to have one of those special $20 rulers to cut all those and cut templates. I just find this so easy. All right, we're going to lay these all out. Here is our finished block where they're all going to go. You're going to piece them in rows, then piece the rows this way. Hey, don't hesitate to send me an email if you have any questions. When you fall in love with paper piecing, order some paper piecing paper from me. Say that 10 times fast. Give yourself a pat on the back when you're done with this. Hey, thank you. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.